Yo, what up and welcome back to a stiff receipt. We got a little bit of an update on the roster for WWE2k23. So as far as I can tell, as of a couple of hours ago, the full roster for the game is now out and available. So that's pretty exciting to see. We're getting a little bit closer here. We've got roughly, I think, almost right at a month till the early release time, if you bought like the special edition and whatnot, of WWE2k23. And now that we got the full roster out, really hoping we see some of the, I don't know, like the smaller stuff that they've talked about in the features list be showed off that they have not yet. Like some of the post and pre-match cutscene stuff that they've talked about, that they've added in universe mode and little stuff like that. Like we've seen war games, like as I've said in the last two videos about this, the war games has definitely been like the main focus of everything. Just fine. War games will be great. So let's check out the full roster reveal for WWE2k23 and we'll see who made it and who didn't. So let's hit it. All right, here we go. This is the confirmed so far roster, even though, as far as I can tell, as of a tweet that WWE Games made a little bit ago, this seems to be it. This seems to be the full roster. So what you see is what you're getting. I think just about every person that was in 2K22 is also included in 2K23. Minus the people that are no longer working for the company, obviously. But AJ Styles, Akira Tozawa, Alba Fire, Alexa Bliss, Aaliyah, Andre the Giant. I imagine it'll still be that awful, scary Andre the Giant character model that they really like using for some reason. We got Angel Garza, Angel Dawkins, Paul Cruz, Asuka, Austin Theory, and then Axiom, which I believe this will be the first time Axiom has been in a video game. As far as everybody else, I think everybody else was already in the game so far. I think Axiom's the first new addition. Then you got Bad Bunny if you pre-order the game. And then you got two versions of Batista. Now, I imagine the Batista will probably be the same Batista that was used last year. But the other Batista, the second one, is the one you get for buying the $120 edition of the game. Bayley, Becky Lynch. Now, what I've noticed here, so we got Beth Phoenix in the last game. But it was like Legend Beth Phoenix, like old Beth Phoenix. I've noticed in this game we've got like a newer, like updated picture of Beth Phoenix, so hopefully they give us like current Beth Phoenix. That would be pretty sweet if they updated that. One thing I am a little concerned about, Becky Lynch seems to be rolling the big time Bex picture, and really hope we don't get that version. I was hoping that was last, like, it would be so short-lived that we wouldn't see it in the game. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But Bianca Belair, Big Boss Man, Big E, Bobby Lashley, Boogeyman is back in it again. So it seems like pretty much all the DLC characters from the last game are in this game as normal characters. I wonder if their plan is for this is to they add these DLC packs, and when the new game comes out, they add all those old characters in as just regular roster characters. And that way, each of the DLC packs for each game will be a whole group of new people. And then they just keep adding the DLCs to the next game and building upon that. And then we end up with this huge roster of both modern day and, you know, legend characters from DLC. I think that would be pretty cool. I think for the most part, the DLC characters that we got in the last game, I think they were pretty good. There was some that were whatever, you know, but I think for the most part, they did pretty good with the DLC. Booker T, Braun Strowman, Bret Hart, Brie Bella, I believe, Brie Bella was not in 2K22. Not sure what the last game the Bella Twins even were in, honestly. British Bulldog, Brock Lesnar. Then we got the icon from the edition Brock Lesnar 02. And then Braun Breaker, we get Braun Breaker in the game this year, which is big, exciting. It was really a bummer to not have Braun Breaker in the last game. So excited to see that. Bruno Sammartino, I do not believe was in 2K22 either. And neither was Brutus Creed, for that matter. I believe this is also his his first game. We got Pete Dunne back in the game, but as Butch. I do not understand why even like all these people who had these like crappy name changes after Triple H took control, most of them got their names back and their gimmicks back, but Pete Dunne, poor guy, he seems to have gotten his gimmick back, but has had to stick to that really sad, awful name. That's really unfortunate for him, but good to see him in the game nonetheless. Cactus Jack, another DLC character from the last game. Cameron Grimes, Carmella, and Carmelo Hayes, who somehow was absent from the last game. That was a crime as far as I'm concerned. He's going to be in the game, finally. So that's another big, exciting NXT person that's going to be on the roster. One omission that I've noticed so far is it doesn't look like Candice LeRae is going to be making it back into the game, which seems weird to me because she was in the last game. Then she took, she was on leave and then came back, but they already had a character model for her, right? So I feel like they could have just ported that over, maybe changed the attire, and then that would have been that. I'm not quite sure what the thought process was with that, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, Cedric Alexander, Chad Gable, Charlotte Flair, Chyna coming back and again. Cody Rhodes, which is he's the big one, obviously, the one that everybody is excited about. His entrance looks great. His gear looks great. His model looks great. I'm excited to see Cody Rhodes. Commander Aziz. So this is a weird one because I feel like Commander Aziz has just been absent for like ever. And he's still in the game, but they removed Candice LeRae. That's strange. I mean, Commander Aziz did make like a return type thing. I don't remember if it was at the pay-per-view or on the last episode of NXT. I think it was the pay-per-view. Under, whatever his other name is. I honestly don't know off the top of my head, but another huge omission that I've seen just glancing over this is there's no Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is not in the game. But I can almost bet money on it. I think there is almost zero chance of him not being DLC in the future. And honestly, with Candice LeRae, I guarantee you Candice LeRae will be DLC as well at some point. Another omission is Bronson Reed, which that one makes a little bit more sense because I don't feel like he's been back for very long. That one is also someone we might see in DLC in the future. But Cora Jade, Cruz del Toro, both brand new to the game. Dakota Kai, Damian Priest, Dana Brooke, Dexter Lumis, Diesel, Doink the Clown. Just these DLC characters from the last game. Dolph Ziggler. Dominic is going to be in this game, and we won't have to play through a whole goddamn showcase mode in order to unlock him, so that'll be great. Another one that's a little unfortunate, but expected was Doudrop. Doudrop's going to be in the game, but it looks like, unfortunately, she's going to still have the Doudrop name. I mean, that'll be easily changed with mods. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll update the game and change her name. Drew Gulak's back, Drew McIntyre, Eddie Guerrero, Edge. We got a new updated Edge with the short hair. Everything, it looks pretty much like they just took last year's model Edge, which was fantastic, and just gave him short hair. Looks a little weird because of that, but it is what it is. At least his face looks normal. This is what I'm a little excited for. The game gave us both Elias and Ezekiel. That means we can finally have the tag matches that we've dreamed of. Elias and his brother Ezekiel. They could be tag team champs, dude. It'd be great. Can't wait for that. I think Eric Bischoff was in the game if you bought the NWO stuff. Eric's back, Ezekiel Farouk's back, Finn Balor, Gigi Dolan, I believe, is brand new to this game. A great addition, glad to see her in there. Giovanni Vinci, Goldberg, Grayson Waller's another one I'm excited about. He's new to the game. Really hyped to see him. We got Gunther back in the game under his new name, thankfully. Unfortunately, on the other hand, we got Corbin back in the game. Still labeled as Happy Corbin. God help me. Hollywood Hogan and Hulk Hogan return. Humberto Carrillo. You never see his name, but Ilja Dragunov back in the game. Indy Hartwell, I believe, was DLC in the last game, so she's back. Ivar, Io Sky back in the game under her new name. JC Jane that is in the game too. That's good shit. Even though Toxic Attraction is not doing so well right now, but it'll be great to we can We can put him back in the game as a tag team. It's fine. Jake the Snake, JBL, JD McDonough. I believe this is also his first game. Do not believe he was in the last game, so it's great to see him. Jerry the King Lawler's back in the game, who just had a massive stroke. He seems to be doing pretty well and is recovering well, though. Glad to hear that. Hopefully he pulls through. Jimmy and Jay are back in the game. Jim Neidhart also back in the game. Jinder Mahal, Joaquin Wilde back in the game. We got 4 John Cenas, it looks like. We got John Cena, and then we got O2 John Cena, where I guess I'm assuming it was the one where he was wearing like the short tights. We got 06 John Cena, and then we got, I think this is like FCW John Cena. The prototype. So we got four John Cenas in this game, which is more than we need. Let's be real. Last game we had what? 8 Rey Mysterios? God help us. We don't need 10 of the same person. I'm sorry. Make them like costume options instead of an extra person on like the roster list. That shit drives me insane. Johnny Gargano's back. Julius Creed is been added. Kane. We got Karrion Kross back in the game. Hopefully we get. I don't know why we wouldn't, but hopefully we get a updated Karrion Kross with hair and not the weird gimp outfit. That would be fantastic. Todd Chance and Caden Carter, both, I believe this is their first game, so that's exciting to see. Kevin Nash is back. Kevin Owens, Kofi, Kurt Angle has been added back into the game. It looks like a new model. From what I've seen, his model looks pretty great. Who doesn't love Kurt Angle? LA Knight is back in the game. He was DLC in the last game, if I remember correctly. Lacey Evans, we're going to update Lacey Evans. Lita, another omission from the last game that was kind of weird. I don't know. I feel like it's like if you're going to have these games, you got to have Lita, right? Liv Morgan, Logan Paul, who was DLC in the last game, will be in the new one as a regular roster. Ludwig Kaiser back in the game. Mace is back in the game. Madcap Moss, I don't think he was in the last game. So regardless, good to see him. Mansoor, Maurice, Matt Riddle, Molly Holly making a return to the roster. I don't know when the last game she was in was, but good to see her back in there. Montez Ford, McMahon, Mustafa Ali, MVP, Natalia, Nikki Ash. Why? I feel like that gimmick died so long ago. Why are we still have her in the game as Nikki ASH? Did we literally just copy paste her shit over from the last game and put it in here? Really hope that's not the case, especially because later on in 2K22, they added the version of Nikki that was the Nikki Cross Nikki. So the fact that they put Nikki ASH in this new one instead of Nikki Cross is a very weird decision to me. And Nikki Bella said both of the Bella twins are back in the game. We got Nikita Lyons. Believe that's the first time she's been in a game. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know who Noam Dar is. Don't believe he was in the last game though, so I guess he would be a new one. Omos DLC, he's making a return. Otis, Paul Heyman, Queen Zelina, R-Truth, Randy Orton. Then we've got the O2 Randy Orton. If you pre-order the $120 edition. Randy Savage is coming back, but Jesus, dude, if we were like to make a list of the worst character models in these games, it's absolutely Randy Savage. And they just keep using the same one, and it looks awful. So, yay, I guess. All right, Raquel Rodriguez, Razor Ramon. Reggie was not in the last game. Rey Mysterio, Rhea Ripley. Rick Boogs was, I believe Rick Boogs is DLC. And he just made a return on TV, so glad to see he made the cut. Ricochet, of course. Ridge Holland, I do not believe is in the last game. He's been added. That's cool. Rikishi, Rob Van Dam, both DLC. Robert Roode. Roddy Piper. I don't remember. I think he was in the last game. I think. I do not fully recall, though. Roman Reigns, still using the awful Roman Reigns model from last year. Why? It looks so bad. It's like the face is just not quite right and the hair is weird and it just doesn't look good. There's so many mods that have done it infinitely better. I just can't. I don't get why they don't fix it. Just fix it. Ronda Rousey was DLC in the last game, so she's gonna be in here now. We got Roxanne Perez added to the game. That's exciting. Updated Sami Zayn, at least I hope. I haven't seen any footage of Sami Zayn yet, but surely he's updated from last year's model. Santos Escobar returning, Scarlett returning, Scott Hall, Seth Rollins, Shane McMahon. Shanky wasn't in the last game, I don't believe, so Shanky's been added. Shawn Michaels, Shayna Baszler, Sheamus, Shelton Benjamin, Shinsuke, Shotzi, Solo Sikoa. Fun fact, I, for some reason, had this idea in my head that he was in the last game, and he was not. So that caught me off guard the other day when I was trying to find him, and I was like, wait, he's not even in this game. So he's been added. Sonya Deville, Stacy Keibler, another DLC character from the last game, Stepping Man, Steve Austin, 6. Not quite sure why they have that version of him in here, but whatever, I guess. Unfortunately for Mr. Dijak, he's back in the game, but as T-Bar. T-Bar is another weird one for me because T-Bar was in the last game, and then later on through updates, they added Dominic Dijakovic, however you say his name, back to the game, so that you could have his like normal non-T-Bar version of him as well. They had that right there that they could have used in this game, and they still bring T-Bar back. Why? That's so stupid. Tamina Ted DiBiase, Hurricane DLC is returning. The Miz, The Rock. Was Titus O'Neil in the last game? I honestly don't remember. I would assume he was. I feel like that's just a weird one to just randomly add. Tommaso Ciampa, who's just been doing nothing here lately, and it's infuriating. Glad to see he's back in the game, though. Triple H. Trish Stratus, I believe, was in the last game. Now, the Bait makes a return. Ultimate Warrior. Umaga, DLC from the last game, is back. Undertaker. We got one Undertaker, not 10, like the last game. Vader. Veer Mahan, I do not believe he's in the last game. He was a new addition. Wesley. X-Pac, I guess, is also in the game. I didn't realize they had two of him, but Xavier Woods is back, Zia Lee, Yokozuna, and to finish off the list, Zoe Stark. Glad to see she's been added. That's great. All right, now having gone through the list, I think the majority of everybody, especially from NXT, that they've added, I was glad to see. Now, we didn't get Joe Gacy for some reason. That was a weird one for me. We 3 big NXT tag teams, Pretty Deadly, Beishu, and Gallus, not in the game. And, you know, all of this could be added as DLC, to be fair. But the fact that three of the big tag teams in NXT are just not in the game, very strange. Another couple of omissions was Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. That was a little unfortunate. I think that could end up being DLC. I think that would be a good DLC team to do. And especially since they have to have, I don't know what the last game they were in. I don't think it was that long ago, so they could easily port characters over, I guess, if they needed to. So we won't be able to do the trio of AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, which is a little unfortunate. Roderick Strong, I would say that this is unexpected, but it's not. Roderick Strong has made it pretty clear that he wants out of the WWE, and the WWE does not want to let him out of his contract early, so he's just rotting his contract away. It's really unfortunate to see, but that's just the way it is. And as I mentioned, Candice LeRae is a strange omission from the game. I do imagine that she has to be DLC. I mean, that'd just be crazy to me if she doesn't end up being DLC. But I think that's going to be it for the video. Are you excited with the roster? Are you glad who they've picked out? Are you bummed about some omissions? Who do you think should have been added to the game that wasn't? Leave your comments down below. If you've not liked the video, you should definitely do so. And be sure to subscribe for more wrestling-related news and WWE 2k23 news. Peace out. Take it easy. Have a good one. And I will see you guys next time.